Guess it's live. Yeah, it's live. I just don't know what it is. There we go. The comments.
What's up, D?
Yeah, there we go. Hey, D. Hey, George. I didn't get a tag or nothing.
You got a what? A tag?
Look at, I'm trying to get it from my phone. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Aaron. It's supposed to come up on my phone. It's not coming up on my phone.
Oh, you gotta bring it up. But you go to your account.
I'm supposed to get a notification.
We ain't did it yet.
No, I tagged us in it. I thought I tagged
Hey,
us
everybody.
in it. I guess not.
There you go.
Wait for my invite. Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
I still didn't get it. It still didn't come up. Yeah, there you
it
go.
is. Patience.
It's slow. All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. How is everybody doing? How is everybody night going? How has everybody Thursday been? How has your week been? Show me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. You know, angry faces, whatever it may be.
Angry faces.
Hey, Tiffany. Yeah, whatever you feeling. Everybody ain't always happy. Whatever you feeling, give me some thumbs up, hearts, angry faces. I don't know. All I know. How's everybody doing? Tell me, how are you doing? How are you doing? There we go. I got some hearts from Tiffany. Hey, sweetie, how are the kids? George, how are the girls? Dawson, how are the kids? Aaron, how's life? Aaron, I was real touched by your testimony the other day on Facebook. I'm praying for you, brother, and congratulations on your new black car. You pointed that out. It is black. So yeah, that's great that you got that blessing. I'm so happy and so proud for you, and nothing but great things to come out of this testimony that you're gonna have. So, how's everybody doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. Today was a challenging day.
Why was it a challenging day?
I love the kids.
You love the kids.
I love the kids. I think that's the best thing I can say.
I love the kids.
But today they completely, and it won't all of them, just a couple of them kind of. I had to use my Holy Ghost today.
I think with kids that happens.
Yeah, let me
that happens.
I had to use my Holy Ghost today.
So yeah. So all right. I hope everybody had a good week. Not too many people are talking back to me, but I hope everybody had a great week so far and that you're looking forward to the weekend. So what's your weekend plans? What are y'all doing this weekend? What you doing this weekend?
I got to change these brake pads.
So we got a couple of great things going on this weekend. So Taylor is dancing tomorrow night at Shirley Caesar's church. I am excited about that. Our baby girl Taylor is dancing tomorrow night at Shirley Caesar's church. So we're excited about that. She got that invitation to dance. So we're excited about that. And then on Saturday, my cousins are getting married. Willie and Toya are getting married. So I'm excited for them. They're excited.
Yeah.
So,
Tiffany,
yeah.
you said you're hanging out with the boys. What George said, Chibi and I forgot that we have a newborn feels
eyes tied.
What having a newborn feels like eyes tied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Pastor Harris.
So yeah, so on last week we sat down and we talked about grief. And Kevin's up here. Okay, everybody's about to see this. Hey, Pastor Harris. So last week we talked about grief, what grief was and how it affected us, and the journey of going through the process of grief and how to handle it. Some of us were still handling it. Some were still struggling with dealing with grief. Something that had happened years ago. We just haven't let go of it, or we just don't know how to confront it, or we just don't know how to deal with it. It's just there. It's right in front of us. It's always there. And me and TJ shared with you guys last week how we have been dealing with the loss of my mom, and you know, even with the loss of our daughter. You know, we talked about how we responded to grief, because everybody responds differently. That's what we talked about last week. Every individual have their own individual response to grief and how they go through the process. Some people, like TJ talked about it, he had to hit it immediately. He had to confront it immediately. He had to talk it out. He had to walk it out. He had to put his grief into music. You know what I'm saying? Whereas for me, I kind of went through the 5 stages of anger and denial and being numb, you know, and then it hit me later. And then we talked about also how grief come in waves, you know, just when you think you're feeling better and you having a good day, then all of a sudden it knocks you on the back of your head, and then all of a sudden you crying all over the place, you know. You're like, well, what in the world? And
you said like grief is a thief.
It is. It come knock you in the back of your head. So yeah.
Who
Hey, Pastor Presley.
In the back of your head. I call him G.O.D. Who made that?
I don't know.
I call him G.O.D. I call him G. It's what's the gospel hip hop? He's a pastor from Atlanta. Nah, never mind. I can't think of his name, man. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
So yeah, so did you enjoy our discussion last week?
I did. I enjoyed it. It was actually the discussion last week it freed me.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
so?
Because the more what I know, because even we were talking about grief, and even though, you know, it's been over 6 years now, I believe it is. No, is it 6 years for you? Hold on, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, about 5 years.
What?
Since losing.
Yeah, this year made 5 years.
All right, so even though it's been over 5 years, the more we talk about it, I mean, some people, I guess, I'm a little weird, I guess, when it comes to grief, the more I talk about it, the more freer I become of it. Like, the more I talk about it, the less of a hostage I feel
to grief. And,
versus
and
some
you're
people,
freeing yourself and,
yeah,
and you're healing.
Yeah, and then versus some people, they rather not talk about it at all. That helps them heal. But I'm weird. I got to talk about it in order for me to, you know. And then so talk about Leela and talk about, you know, how I felt.
Meredith.
It just freed me more.
Let's see, and that's good. Even George texted me. He was like, "Thank you so much for the session on last Thursday, because it really helped him." And he talked about how he, you know, he has to confront his journey or his struggle with dealing with grief, you know, from a friend that committed suicide and so forth. Right. You know, so it's it can be hard because, you know, like we said, death is inevitable. It hits everybody's door. But what we didn't talk about on last week is the support. That's why I'm kind of continuing the grief discussion today. I at first I didn't want to drag on the grief discussion because I didn't want it to be like a sad thing to keep talking about. But I feel like it's also something necessary that needs to be talked need to be talked about.
We're not necessarily dragging it on. We're talking about a different aspect of it this time.
Yeah. So
talking about we're basically talking about having strength and support.
Right.
In grief. Well, during the time of grief.
During the time of grief. Yeah. Okay, Tiffany said grief is dealt differently from everyone. The boys are dealing with grief now with the loss of their little brother's mom. She just recently died. It took a toll on them, but I know that true time it will get better. Right. Through time it will get better. Yes. And that is true. So sorry to hear about their loss.
It's the same lady that DeMajor was talking about.
Oh, for real? Yeah, small world. Hey, Trivia. Hey, Aunt Rosa. Hey, everybody who just joined us that is still up here. We had a great discussion on last week about grief. And like I said, me and TJ told our testimony as far as how we dealt with it and how we're dealing with it still.
And y'all go back and watch it too.
Go back and watch it. It was great. It was a great discussion.
I thought she was going to speak in tongue and prophesy to all the Facebook folks that was out there.
No.
I even saw the Holy Spirit just slap her in the back of the head.
God is maturing me. I know how to keep it. But yeah, so this time we're talking about grief, but we're talking about grief from the aspect of support and expectations. Now, for those who have ever went through grief, we're going to talk about expectations first. Have you ever expected you just automatically expected certain people to be there, to comfort you, to call and check on you, to be that support that they've always been? Do you expect them to be there? And if they're not, how did you respond? Did when you went through a traumatic situation, did somebody you expect to be there did not show up? Or did someone you expect to check on you didn't check on you? And if so, how did you feel? How did you respond to that? Hey, Bishop. Hey, Pastor Hassan and Lee. Hey, Shahana. We still talking about grief. So, because the thing is, sometimes when people are in our life, they're constant. When we have constants in our life, we have people who are constantly in our lives, always checking on us, seeing how we're doing, stuff like that. Sometimes we tend to think it's an automatic expectation that when I go through something, you're going to be there. But then when you go through it, you don't hear from them or you don't see them. And you really don't, sometimes you don't think about it at the moment, but then when you sit back and think about it, you're like, dang, I ain't heard from so-and-so. No, you know, what were they at?
I know, like I mentioned it briefly, when we lost Leela, a lot of the guys that I expected to be there, you know, a lot of the guys who, oh, you my brother, oh, you know what, we think it's thieves and all this garbage. When I lost Leela, I only had, honestly, a handful of guys that showed up.
Right.
You know, and that threw me for a loop because, you know, when things are good, everything is great. You know, we cool, we boys, we all of this stuff. But, you know, when I really needed your support, you weren't there. But on the flip side of that, and was I angry? Yeah, because one of my friends, I actually let them know how I felt. Well, actually, all of them, I let them know how I felt.
Right.
But what I also, after I finished being angry, or what you want to call it, or hurt, or what you want to call it, I got to thinking, I said, okay, this has never happened amongst the group of guys. This has never happened before.
No, it's never happened.
None of the guys that I knew has ever dealt with a friend like that, losing a child. You know what I'm saying?
Child, yeah.
And so I came to the realization that a lot of times we get upset when people we expect to be there. Well, how I want to say it. A lot of times we get upset when we expect people to be there, but a lot of times people don't know how to be there.
Hey,
so
Cherie.
Since they don't, and I'm not making up excuses for people, but since they don't know how to be there, they don't be there. They don't show up at all.
So let me take it back a little bit. So just to ask everybody, because I want to hear from you. I know how we do on Thursday Love. We talk back and forth. So why is it that we put an expectation? It's like an automatic expectation. It's like second nature. We automatically expect certain people to show up. We look for it. Honestly, we do. We look for it. When we're going through, we look for someone to comfort us or support us or be there.
That's natural.
It's just natural to do that. I mean, for y'all that are up there, how does it feel? I mean, because we're talking about expectations. When you're going through something real bad, it don't necessarily have to be death. But death is like the worst form. But if you're going through something real bad, you got your car repoed, you ain't got no money, you just got kicked out, you homeless, you know, you just lost your job, whatever. It could be a very traumatic situation for you, or you got in a car accident, and those that you see on a daily basis or you talk to very frequently, you just automatically expect them to be there. Why is it that we automatically expect those that we care about to be there? Why is that?
Well, I guess I have a question. You said, why is it? Well, why should we not expect them to be there?
You're supposed to answer a question with a question.
I mean, like I said, naturally, yes. Naturally, you expect those people who say they love you. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know the saying, man, action, it speaks so much louder than words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You telling me that, for just sidebar from grief, you telling me that you love me and you telling me that you support me and that whatever I need to let you know what I need. But then when I actually tell you what I actually need, you don't give it to me, or you're nowhere to be found.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sorry, man, I ain't got it. You got to catch me next week. That's the same thing it is with grief. You know, like I said, people talk a good game about, you know, I'm going to be there for you. You know what? If this goes down, I'm going to be there for you. But a lot of times when you really need them, they're not there. Right. But that's what I was saying. Like I said, I'm not making up an excuse for people. But during the time of grief, if anybody got any set of common sense, the wrong thing, it doesn't take much to really irk a person off who's lost a loved one. It doesn't take much at all. Because you can say, let me say this to y'all out there. One of the worst things to say to somebody who has lost a loved one is, I know how you feel. No, you don't know how we feel. You don't. And even if you've lost somebody, you still don't know how that person's feel. You might have an idea, you know, of how it feels to lose, but you don't know how that person feel at that point in time when they've lost that loved one. But like I said, I'm not using it as an excuse, but some people don't know how to be there. So since they don't know how to be there, I mean, yes, I'm gonna call it a scapegoat. They take the easy road, which is, you know what? I'm just not gonna be around. I'm just not coming around at all until things die down.
Yeah, I had one person to honestly tell me, because I think I called to check on them, and they was like, I was like, well, how you doing? They was like, I'm all right, and I was like, well, I hadn't heard from you, and they was like, well, because you lost your mom, I didn't want to bother you. So I was just giving you your space. And there are some people, and some people do that, you know. And I'm like, give me space. I said, if anything, I would love to hear from you more when I'm going through versus you give me space. But I know everybody's different. Don't get me wrong, everybody's different. But see, that's where communication comes in. You know what I'm saying? Because if I have a friendship with you, or we've gotten to a level where we care about each other, you know what I'm saying, then something should be spoken or communicated.
You should have the conversation with your friend.
Yeah.
Trivia said something first.
Trivia said, you got it? Or I got it.
Ladies first.
I know during my grief, no one was really there for me. My husband tried his best to be there, but I think he really didn't know how. I even pushed him away. It's like I needed him to be there, but at the same time, I didn't want to be bothered. And see, that's a hard place to be in. That's why I think that's why some people give space, because we don't know how you're going to respond. We don't know how you're going to react. I don't know whether to touch you or not, talk to you or not. I don't know if the words going to come out of my mouth going to be the right words.
But at the same time, that's also the risk that you need to be willing to take.
Yeah, if you care about me enough.
If you really care about me, it's a risk to take. It's a risk. You might get upset with me, but it's a risk that you might really need me.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? Or sometimes people, and another mistake that people make is they feel like they always got to have something to say.
When people lose something, you don't have nothing.
Yeah, what do you say when somebody's lost a loved one? There is nothing to say, because at the end of the day, they've lost that loved one, and that loved one is not coming back. So sometimes,
the best thing to do is just be present.
The best thing to do is just to be present and not try to talk them to make them feel better, because the more you talk about it, the worse they're gonna feel, because that junk is still fresh.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is, and I used to see it all the time when I was growing up, older folks. They would come by the house and bring some food. You know what I'm saying? They would bring some food, and they wouldn't say much, but they would just bring. Perfect example. Since he's up here, Bishop Jones, the pastors for the southern jurisdiction, they brought by some chicken.
Yeah.
He didn't have much to say because there wasn't nothing he could say, but just that token of that token of food to say, you know what, you've lost your mom. I know it's hard right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't feel like cooking. None of y'all feel like cooking because your mind ain't there. But this is just some food to say that we love you. We're praying for you. That right there meant more than anything else.
Yeah.
It meant more than any kind of words, because you showed your love through your actions.
Yeah, the actions.
And they always say that the best way to get to a man's heart is through his stomach. But I'm gonna finish my statement.
Okay.
But the best way to get to a person's heart is through their stomach too, because that, even though we ate that food and that chicken was good, it was good. It still said that we love you, we care about you. We don't know what to say, but here's something to say, that we love you and we're here for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Acts of kindness.
Hadassah.
Go ahead.
Hadassah
I
said.
want to read this one because you read the last one.
Go ahead, TJ.
Hadassah, Eli or Eli or Ele said.
You really messed up her name.
It was a joke. Come on, have some humor. All right. He said, I think it's hard to help a friend with grief. Well, I think it is hard to help a friend with grief. Oh, because they never say they need your help. There you go. That's good. That they never say they need your help. That's what Cher was saying. That's where the communication comes in. That maybe because they are too overwhelmed to reach out. But as a loved one, you may think they need their space. Yeah.
Right. But see, like I said, everybody's different. So I'm gonna keep giving that disclaimer. Everyone's different. But I'm thinking, if you care about this person enough, if you have a friendship with this person, I think you should still reach out and give them that opportunity to say, well, you know what? Right now, I just don't want to be bothered. And then you could be like, okay, I'm gonna pray for you, and not be offended. Or if not, you know, well, I'm just checking on you. You holding up okay? You know, anything I can do for you, whatever. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad you called. You know, thank you for thinking of me. You know, you don't know until you actually do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like unspoken words. It leads to someone's own interpretation, and that interpretation could be totally wrong.
Right. Don't assume.
Yeah. Don't assume. Yeah.
When someone loses a loved one,
hey, Britt,
like Sherry said, don't assume that they just want space.
Right.
Don't assume. Just call them. And I know in today's society we do texts too.
Yeah, we do texts too.
I think texts are, of course, they are impersonal, but it also depends on how close you are to that person. Also.
Yeah.
Now, if we hung out, we chill, we cut up, we ace boom boom. Don't send me no text. Don't tell me, hey, no, you call. Let's go back to old school. But if we're not that familiar with one another, so forth and so on, yeah, there's nothing wrong with texting to say. And actually, when you send that text, that person's probably going to be shocked. Wow, you know what? We don't talk like that, but at least they sent some kind of communication to say that they care, that they're praying X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But if we close, don't call, don't send no text.
Bishop said, my snack demon helps me get through.
Bishop, we're praying for you.
You need to rebuke your snack demon.
Yeah, we're praying for you. Tell me some food.
Hey to everybody that's up here that we haven't spoken to. But, you know, and I think
we got Suwon.
Yeah, McFadden is up here.
Oh, yeah, she asked you about, she asked me to ask you, about, me. Okay, I just want to say, so she can hear you say it.
Yeah, and I said yes.
On Facebook. All right. So, hey, Sue, if you up here, she said, she'll try to help with your, with the choreography.
Pray my strength in the Lord. Hey, Yolanda.
Hello, Brittany.
But yeah, so
Elder Sherry.
But I think it should be communicated. I think that's the thing. I think everybody's different. Like for me, I can honestly say when my mom passed, I answered every call. I answered every text. I think I may miss one, but you know, I answered every call because I'm that type of person. I like to be touched. My love language is to be touched. So will you stop?
I'm showing you your love language.
Will you stop? So
are you loving my language?
No.
I made you laugh. So I'm good.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So that means not just a physical touch, but just to be like, okay, I'm thinking of you, or you know, I mean, I know, are you okay? Is really like a redundant question at the time, but you know what I'm saying. But just checking on you, it meant a lot. Or just call to say, I just wanted to hear your voice. And the thing is, sometimes we don't know what to say when someone has lost something. Yeah. So we need to be careful what our words are. And that's another thing. I think it should be discussed through grief.
Thank you, Bishop.
You know, hey, Sharana. I think another thing is words that need to be practiced. Certain people need to practice certain words. Because when we lost our daughter, somebody was like, oh, it'll be all right. Y'all could just try for another one.
That's what you heard. You heard crickets because we knew if we had to open up our mouths, the Holy Ghost won't coming out.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you young, you be all right, you fertile, you can do it again. You know what I'm saying? And then
that's when you want to give somebody a holy smack.
Yeah, you know.
Oh God. Yeah. Hold on. Lord Jesus. Tiffany said, I know we shouldn't wonder at the time we grieving, but when someone passes away, so many say sorry for your loss, or either say praying for you and your family during difficult times. I'm not saying that they are not, but are they just following the crowd and saying because they just want to be seen? Just a question, though I'm not making a big deal. No, I agree, Tiffany. Now, I ain't even trying to be, yeah, some people just be saying that junk just to say they said it.
I think I saw a quote or a meme one day. Somebody had put on Facebook, they said, when I pray for you, that was their prayer. Like literally, when I say I'm praying for you, that was literally their prayer. They didn't do anything else because a lot of people say it so much. It's like some people say, I love you. And it has no meaning behind it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it becomes redundant. And they was like, you know, people like, well, I'm praying for you. And you be like, thank you. But you know what I'm saying? Some people really are not praying for you. It's just something to say. I think honestly, as human beings, we just have to say something. And so we say what is rehearsed a lot. Yeah. And I'm praying for you during this difficult time. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for your loss. I think somebody even got smart one time. I didn't lose anything or whatever. And I was like, they was getting all deep about it. But, you know, it is what it is.
What I generally try to do, honestly, when, you know, if I see that, I like to go ahead and like pray it in. So we'll be like, I lied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say, sorry for your loss, or I'm praying for you, I've literally said a prayer. You know what I'm saying? And because your prayer ain't got to go on a 40-day, 40-night fast. Literally simply.
I say a prayer when I say it. I say a prayer at that moment. It's not long, but I say it. So
Hadassah said, for me, I mean it when I say it, and she gave the praying hands.
Really? Really? God,
I'm just joking.
Bishop said, great observation. They ain't praying. It's religiosity and tradition to say. But I mean, at the end of the day, you hear so many things when people, because some people get consumed about what they going through.
Hold up. I'm sorry.
Some people get so consumed about what they go through. You lost your family member, or you lost something, and they's like, girl, I know how you're feeling. I lost my mama back in 1962, and it was one of the hardest things we did. We had to do this, we had to do, like, they going through a whole bow.
Let me say this.
Hey,
when somebody lose, seriously, y'all, this is you ain't gotta look. I don't care. Look, when somebody lose a loved one, don't try to find a relation. Don't try to get it to relate. Like, don't try to. You know what?
They want you to understand it. They understand how you feel it.
But at that point in time,
they want you to understand.
But at that point in time, I really don't care about you understanding.
Somebody else might.
I didn't care because nothing was gonna bring my daughter back. You lost your daughter or you lost your child 50 years ago. I'm sorry, but 50 years later, I lost mine. So I understand how you. No, you don't. Shut your mouth. Are you Jesus? Are you coming on the 4th day to raise her? Because if not, I don't care.
Cherie said, "Hey, Cherie."
And then I think, I'm sorry. And then what makes it worse is the conversation. Lord Jesus, the conversation changes from being about the person who lost to what you going through and who you lost.
Yeah, it went from who they lost to how they dealt with it to what they were dealing with at that moment. Like, girl, yeah. I've been going through some things with this struggle and I had one person literally, they told me what was going on in their life, and it was like I literally sat through a 15-20 minute conversation. So yeah.
Tamar said empathize is not the same as trying to relate.
I missed that.
Because honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all, I think somebody need to teach a class on
trivia.
Somebody need to teach a class on what to say when someone is grieving. Honestly, y'all,
don't say nothing. Put money in my hand.
Being honest. Sometimes, man, I'm just gonna use we just to make it general. Sometimes we say some of the dumbest stuff. You literally want to just like. Some of the time, people say stuff. What
is the dumbest thing you have ever heard when you were going through a grief situation?
Oh, yeah. But people say the dumbest stuff.
Y'all say, tell us what you heard.
It makes you forget about you lost somebody.
Yeah.
Because you be looking at them like. You know what? You stupid. I don't even have a good word. So you just stupid. And then the Holy Ghost. You just stupid.
Lord Jesus.
Child, I've been there.
Cherie said, I believe if you have a true relationship and bond with someone, then there is like an unspoken truth that you will be there for each other in every situation, including grief. The presence is encouragement in itself. Yeah, and that's what I was saying too. Hey Keisha. Said, how did they pass? Oh yeah, they will ask you that. Well, what happened? That's what I kept getting. Well, what happened?
Folks are nosy.
They kept saying that. Well,
it don't matter. Bottom line is, and it's funny, man. They did. They always come because it never fails. It's okay. Bishop, you up here, so you know what I'm talking about. It's like in church, right? When a preacher has just finished preaching. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna pump the church up. They're gonna pump they're gonna pump the crowd up. They're gonna get the crowd going crazy. Just shout music's gonna be going, and you see it's coming. If folks' emotions are all over the place, and then they say, "The Lord spoke to me and told me there's 20 people in here with $100." You know it's gonna happen, and then the music die down, and then the folks they wide open, so they're gonna dump their pocketbooks on the altar. I'm not saying don't give. That's not what I'm saying.
Lord, Tamar said they in the morgue.
But it never happens. People call and they be like, "Child, I just want to hear your voice. You were just on my mind." But what happened?
Really?
You just want to hear my voice. So what? Why does it matter? The details of how they pass.
Was she dealing with that for a long time? How did she get like that? Like they really go in, and then once you tell them, they like, oh, Well, all right. Well, I'll be praying for you. All right.
Then you go on Facebook. People are sure leaving this place.
Yeah.
Kick a rock with your feet.
Tiffany said, "Who got their body? Lord Jesus."
The dumbest stuff, man. What color y'all gonna put on them? What they gonna wear?
Yeah. Yolanda says some of the dumbest things she heard was, "Are you okay?" No, I am not. Yeah, they do ask, "Are you okay?"
That is it.
And I wonder, why do you am I okay? No, I'm not okay. And you know what I'm saying? And then I tell you, some people just say stuff just to be saying stuff. They really don't know what to say.
It don't make no sense. You're right, Bishop. Like, why you gotta ask me that? Tell them, you are Prophetess Curtis. You are exactly right. Well, they show in a better place.
Yeah.
How do you know?
How do you know they're in a better place?
How do you know that? I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
If they save and the Holy Ghost filled, I mean, the prayer
is
that they made it in. But at that point in time, it don't matter to me if they're in a better place. They ain't here.
Yeah, that's what they said. They're in a better place. To be present with the Lord is to be absent from the body. And I'm like, okay.
It's just, I mean, I get it. All that stuff sounds great. All that stuff sounds good. But after you strip away all of the soliloquies,
fillers.
At the end of the day, the bottom line is that loved one that I love, that was my heart, they're not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I do believe that one of the best things that you can ever do is just show your presence.
Just be present.
Don't ask a whole bunch of questions, because at that point in time, your present. Mind is so discombobulated and it's like so all over the place that you really don't even you really don't even have the cognizant mindset to be answering a whole bunch of questions.
Look what George asked. When my grandfather died, first question was, who was going to get the house and the Benz? I know.
That's another thing.
No.
That's another thing.
I feel you. No. George, I understand.
And the sad thing about it is, I'm not saying this ever happened, but
who's gonna get my mama clothes?
Some of those people are family members who do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If family members, folks from outside. At that point in time, the possessions that they have, none of that crap matters. All that matters is my loved one is not here. And if you can't do anything to bring them back, your words are gonna amount to a hill of beans.
But you know, again,
not gonna amount to a hill of beans.
You know how it can be. Some people know how hard it can be and how it feels to go through it or whatever. But to ask those questions, I don't know. I just really think it's just fillers. It's just something to fill in the conversation, and it can be some of the dumbest fillers ever. Because to really ask me a day after I lost my mom, well, what you gonna do at the house? To me, that was the most insensitive. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this house. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her furniture. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her truck. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her clothes and her shoes. Like, really?
David said we literally last week had a family fighting at a funeral.
Are you serious?
Brittany said, for me, especially when things.
I think we skipped some people.
No, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, right. Trivia said they're in a better place. Everyone don't go to heaven. This is between them and God. We literally. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
So Brittany said, she said, for me, when things happen with both my siblings, it was all over the news, and Facebook. Please stop. Yes, another thing. You're right, Brittany. Please stop asking and giving your opinions on what happened and what people think they say. Just opinions. And someone said to me, well, if they would not have
done this or that.
That is the worst. Wow. That is the worst thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, like if someone to pass away in a car accident or something like that, something traumatic is that happening, you know.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what, they could have been walking down the street and a pole could have fell. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
It was their fault to be walking under the pole.
At the end of the day, that loved one is not here. It don't matter how they left. That loved one is not here. And that pain stings like all get out.
Oh, after you tell them the story of what happened and they ain't got no response for it, I've heard a few people say, well, it was just their time. It was just their time. And
you want to come back and say, wait, no, but how about I make it your time?
It was just their time.
And then y'all be there together.
It was just their time. But yeah, you know, it's crazy going through the grief process and dealing with people, and it can be an experience all in itself. Having expectations from friends and, you know, certain friends not being there, it can really hurt your heart. So expectations is a hard thing. like I think Cherie said it the best. You know, if you're in someone's life and you have a relationship, you just expect them to be there.
Yeah.
And it's but Alexis, today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Alexis.
Yeah.
Alexis said something key to me one time in a session. She had just lost her grandmother, who's like her mom because her grandmother raised her. And she said key people in her life that she's very close to was not at the funeral. And so she said that it really hurt her. She expected to see them there, and the people that she didn't expect was there. And so she said, so what she did was she had a meeting with them afterwards.
That's what I did.
And said, we need to discuss this. Like, you're like my A school boom, you my best friend. Why were you not at the funeral? I didn't even hear from you. And I think you have to, if you care about that person that much, that communication need to be had. So
that's what I did with the people that wasn't there that I expected to be there. I said, you know, you will not go through this experience, or I will not go through this experience and not let you know how I felt. Because one thing, that's another thing about losing a loved one like that, especially that close to you, it causes you to look at life in a totally different perspective.
It does.
You start being more honest with people.
Yeah.
You have a low tolerance for crap, for mess.
Yeah.
And so I told my wife, I told Sherry, I said, you know, even she was like, no, TJ, don't do it. No. I was like, no, I'm gonna free myself. I'm getting this off my chest. These people will know how I felt. And honestly, I let them know how I felt. And I didn't care how they responded. Bottom line is, I was going to let you know how I felt, so it wouldn't be a mystery that your presence was missed and that it should have been there. And my thing was, look, I've already gone through this. You weren't there. That's water on the bridge. But the next person that comes along that goes through something like this, be there for them, because I don't know how it feels. It's a lesson to be learned. To not have it there.
I think there's nothing new under the sun, but I think also everything that we go through, there's a lesson to be learned.
It's a teaching lesson.
Everything God does is a teaching lesson. And when we lost our daughter, that's when I learned that everybody don't think the same as I do. That everybody don't know how to be there for people like I do. You know what I'm saying? Because see, I like presence. I like you to be there. I like to see you. I'm old school.
She likes your presence.
Yeah,
she likes you to be there. She is old
school. I'm very
literally old.
I'm not trying to be funny. It took a minute for me to accept when someone texts me. Because to me, texts are so informal. It's not a personal touch. I'd rather you call me, and that's how old school I am. I'd rather call and hear your voice, because to me that means
flip phone old.
That means it's personal. That I get to it's touchable for me. But everybody's different. My disclaimer again, everybody's different. But it opened up my eyes to see that everybody responds to a situation differently. Because when we lost our daughter, what I heard a lot from a lot of people was, I was raised to give people space. And so I had to tell them, well, in my situation, if I'm going through, I don't do space. I need your presence. I need you to be there. I need you to call me. You know what I'm saying? I've come to the fact with my mom passing, I've accepted text or whatever. I get it. But, everybody's different.
Once you go, that's the thing about grief too.
Yeah.
Once you lose a loved one, in the beginning, it's kind of like you kind of got an idea, although it all feels differently.
Yeah.
You kind of got an idea of what to kind of look forward to, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of say, well, you know what? The first time I lost a loved one, they sent me, a telegram. Well, the next time they might send me a text. I'm just saying, you start to realize people's forms of communication.
Loss. And that's what I had to learn how to accept, that everybody has their own way to communicate. And a lot of people have come to the point of accepting text and inboxes and DMs as a way of communicating. M&Ms. I said DMs too.
You said M&Ms.
I did not. I think people, and I'm sorry, I just don't. I've accepted the inboxes. I've accepted the text. I prefer a call. I'm old school, but everybody don't have my number either. But
so if they can't call, they ain't got your number. How they supposed to?
That's why I said I've learned to accept some things. Bishop said earlier. Here's another one. People ask, well, did they have insurance? Who's paying for this? Oh my goodness!
You tell them, dang it, you ain't paying for it. So why is it your business? That's what you want. You want to just tell people the stuff. Like
George said the sad part is during the visitation at the house, stuff started getting missing at the house. I lost all my Holy Ghost if I had it any at all. Oh Lord.
And that's the thing, man. And that is a sad thing about some people. They are just blatant I can't even say it. They just downright just insensitive. Mary said, my favorite.
I hate text. I prefer calls. Hey, Mary.
That's right, Mary. Pick up them dial them digits. That is old. I told my age. I don't care. Yeah. I'm past my 30s.
Hey to everybody that's up here. So sharing. So the last part we're gonna hit on, and then we're gonna get ready to go, is in grief. I wanted to touch on was spousal support or support period. It doesn't necessarily have to be spousal support, but it support. How do you support your spouse when they're grieving? Or how do you support? I think we kind of touched on it though, with the friendships or whatever. But the spousal support, yeah, it's still some of the same. What I can say, and I want to say publicly, which I'm gonna say it again via Facebook and Instagram, is that TJ has been amazing. Like all the praise hands, all the praise emojis. If I could scream like a GIF or whatever I can do to scream that my husband has been extremely amazing, incredible. He has given me so much support. He has just been there. He just knew what to say. He knew what to do. Like I don't care where I went. I knew he was near me. I don't care what I was doing or how tired I was, whichever way I was going, TJ was near me. And when I was ready to cry, he grabbed me and he let me cry. When I wanted to vent, he let me talk it out. And then he only said stuff when it was time. The timing was right. He knew what to say, when to say, and how to say it. He even gave me feedback sometimes on certain decisions I had to make. You know what I'm saying? So when I say God raised up in my husband, I love my husband. I love my husband on a whole new level because of what we just went through and what I'm still going through. I cannot speak enough about how he has just been there. The support, the love, the comfort, indescribable. And I thank you. I love you. And I thank you for all that you have done these past couple of months. I'm telling you, I think that comes with learning your spouse, learning what triggers them, what sets them off, how they respond to things. And so how you need to, whether you need to get a little close or whether you need to back up a little bit, you need to learn your spouse. So and learn how they react to things or respond to things when they're going through. Because when I'm going through something at work or whatever, he lets me vent it out or whatever. And then he tells me, okay, this is where you're wrong at, or this is where you need to get right. But when I went through this grief situation with my mom, he was just there. If it made him feel uncomfortable, he didn't care. I can honestly say I can tell that he was uncomfortable sometimes and he did not want to do certain things. But at that time, I can tell he took how he felt and what he wanted, and he set that to the side, and he said, okay, I don't care how uncomfortable it makes me feel. I don't care right now. I don't want to do this, or I don't want to spend the night, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to be uncomfortable, and I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make sure she knows that I am there. And that's exactly what he did. And I could see it in the midst of everything that I was going on. I can see that it didn't matter, and he was tired just as much as I was tired. He was like, well, okay, well, we're getting up and we're going tomorrow and we're going to do that. Where are you going? What are you doing? And then when I got into a cleaning frenzy or whatever, he just sat on the chair and he didn't say nothing. He just waited for me to say, okay, you need me to do something? Okay, nope, all right, I'm sitting back down. Like, that's what he did. And I think when your spouse is grieving, this is really when your Holy Ghost need to kick in, or you need to tap into something. And you need to fill them out, and you need to learn what makes them go, what makes them not go, what triggers them, what don't trigger them, what they need, when they need that hug, or when they need a talking to, or when they need something to make them laugh. You know what I'm saying? Or something to make them feel better. You know what I'm saying? Was it Friday? The day after my mom passed, TJ got up and said, let's go walk. Now, walking is my thing. It's become his thing as well. But I don't know if the walking was for me or for him, but it did help me because I love to walk. And we got up that morning and we went walking, and I just talked. We both just talked, you know, and it was healthy for me. It was very healthy for me. So, and he was very mindful of letting people know. He said, can I let this person know? Can I let this person know? He was very respectful about the whole situation. He just didn't go off running his mouth and said, Lord, y'all pray for us. My mother-in-law passed. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't do that. He respected my decision on keeping it private. Because that's another thing too. Oh my God. That's another thing you don't say to somebody when they lose somebody. Why didn't you tell me? No, that pissed me off. Oh God, that pissed me off. When somebody going through something and you decide to take a break and not tell people for a couple of days, and then you finally put it out there, and then they come back and say, well, why didn't you tell me? I'm sorry, I didn't put your name at the top of the freaking list to say, oh, let me tell them first. No, I'm going through. Okay, that was a commercial.
And the thing is,
that's a commercial.
You say, why didn't you tell me? And then that person doesn't hear from you again. So it's like,
I hate Bishop Jones.
You upset with them.
I mean, I like you.
At that point in time where their heart has just been crushed, they didn't tell you that they lost a loved one.
Yeah.
You ought to be glad that they even told anybody. At that matter, you know, at that time. But I completely agree with Bishop. In a marriage, there is nothing but.
He said in marriage 666. Shout out Tracy Jones. I ain't walking with TJ.
No, let me tell y'all, man. So some years ago, I'm gonna tell you, some years ago, Bishop, oh Lord, a few years ago, Bishop was on. He was trying to lose weight or whatever. And he got it down there. But this was when I was on this. I'm still on it now, but I was really about $4 later. I was really on this exercise thing, and he had me to go somewhat train him and like kill that dude, man. I like to go.
It's all right, Bishop. We understand. Hey, First Lady Tracy Jones. Sex. Bishop Jones says, shout it out, Tracy. Sex is the cure to spousal support during grief. Is sex.
So George said, through some time,
thank you.
I ain't got my glasses on. Through some things that Trivia has gone through, I have been more protective of her. As some people can be negative and be overbearing. She thinks I'm crazy, but I do what I have to do. And that's the thing, man. As a husband, when something like this happens, you don't have to walk around like you're the big bad wolf. You don't have to say anything at all. But yes, that protectiveness, and I don't know if it's a word, that protective, whatever you want to call it, within you as a man, it steps up. Because the thing, like with Sherry losing her mom, my eyes became real sharp. My eyes became sharp, and I was really observant. And I wasn't going. This is the truth, and I love my in-laws, but I wasn't going to allow anybody from uncle to aunt to cousin to. I won't let nobody attack my wife, because at the end of the day, I told God at the altar that I would protect her no matter what, from better, for worse, richer, for all of that stuff. So if they say something crazy to her out of her side of their mouth, I'm the one that got to be there after they done said their crap. So my thing was, I was very observant. I didn't say much, but I was very observant. And wherever she went, I was there because I'm like, yo, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? I was there. That was my job. My job was to protect her. So I was going to do that, and I'm still going to do that until I leave this earth. That was my job. It's still my job. But that was one of the things which I didn't tell you. But that was one of the things that I was real, like, you can call it the eagle eye, whatever you want it, but I was listening. My hearing was on it, and my eyes was on it. So yeah, you're right. You're right about that, George.
But Bishop Jones said sex was the cure to his grief.
Yeah, but then another quick thing too. So, and we said it. But her husband and wife. One of the worst things to do, and we said it before. One of the worst things to do when a spouse loses a loved one or you lose a child, one of the worst things to do is to try to heal separately. Because, for instance, we lost our child. We both were hurt, like devastated. I've never felt a pain like that in my entire life. And I don't know how I feel, to lose, the other side, but I know from what it was one of the worst pains ever. And one of the decisions that I vowed and I made sure was, I said, and I said it before, I said, whatever amount of pain I feel, Sherry's does, she had to experience the whole entire thing. So I told her, I said, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to heal together. I'm not going to let you go over there to the left. Well, I was pointed forward, but I'm not going to let you go to the left, which is y'all right, and I go to the right. Because by the time we even get any kind of recollection of our thoughts, you don't know how much time could have gone by. You know what I'm saying? And while you're sitting there trying to deal with it in your own way, there's a gap, there's space that's being wedged between the two of you.
Yeah.
So by the time you quote unquote get it together and she get it together, you guys are miles and years apart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I was not going to allow to happen between us.
Yeah, because it was like we said last week, it was an alarming rate that we found out. I don't know the statistics now, but I never knew how many marriages had broken up from just losing a child, from a miscarriage to a stillborn, or to after they were born. How many marriages were destroyed because they didn't know how to grieve together. Our loss brought us closer together. We made a decision.
It was a purpose.
Yeah, we made a decision to stick through this, and so when you're going through something, and grief doesn't necessarily have to be a death of a loved one, but grief could be something like financial strain or whatever. You're grieving over something that is traumatically happening in your life. We have to be careful as husband and wives not to allow whatever we're grieving over to separate or pull us apart. You have to find a way to get to the root of the issue, and that y'all find a way to bring each other back together, because if not, like you said, it's going to destroy the relationship.
Right. And the scripture says, who can separate us from the love of Christ? Neither depth nor height. And the thing is, God has brought us together. He's brought that love together. Right. So that's a great opportunity. Even though you're going through one of the most devastating times in your life, that's a great opportunity for the enemy to come in. Right. You know what I'm saying? And do his thing. Oh, I got him now because she's hurt, she's devastated. He's hurt, he's devastated. And I know down the line that God has something great for them to do, and they're going to do this, they're going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide in, see if I can slide in here now to destroy them, to get them to go in their separate ways. That way I don't worry about them at all. Yeah. But so you got to be able to, even though you're hurting, but you got to kind of let your Holy Ghost in the midst of your pain kind of come forth, because you got to allow the Holy Ghost to see what the enemy is trying to do in the midst of your pain. Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, we have truly enjoyed this conversation on tonight. If you have enjoyed it, let us know. Please. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, always feel free to inbox us or text us. And if you've been blessed, look up there where you say "Be a Blessing," Cash App, $Thursday Love. I said if you've been blessed, there's a indication up top said "Be a Blessing," Cash App, $Thursday Love. Thursday Love, $. I said Thursday Love. Once again, we thank you guys for tuning in with us for this edition. We pray that you have a blessed weekend. And remember, Bishop said, in marriage, sex, triple. Shout it out, Tracy Jones. That's right. What is it? 3? That's what he said. Oh, three with the X. Yeah, 3 with the exponent of. No, never mind. What? One with the exponent of 3. No, that'll work. No, that's 3. Y'all have a good night. Love you guys. No. No. It is 1 with the exponent. It's oh Lord. Oh God, no. Lord Jesus. Oh God. Here we go. In.